Welcome back to the Future Self podcast. Welcome to season 4, episode 5. An absolute banger of an episode that you've tuned into. So if you're listening on Spotify, I would highly encourage you, jump over to YouTube. This man needs no introduction because he is the number one networker on Instagram and an absolute weapon of a human with a very inspiring and intriguing backstory. So I appreciate you tuning in. Jaxon, welcome.
Thanks, Guy.
Welcome.
Appreciate it, my man.
Welcome.
Congratulations with the podcast. It's probably one of the best things I ever went down, the road of the podcast. The connections I've built off of it has just been incredible. And just the biofeedback of actually someone hearing you from a different perspective, not just seeing you, through your image or your tattoos or whatever, and just speaking openly from the heart. I think you're going to obviously reach a lot of people, but I hope our episode reaches a lot of people too. So that's why I come on these. So,
dude, I appreciate it. And especially mine being a new one starting out, I appreciate you taking the time to reply and show interest and show up as well in your own time.
Yeah, anytime, bro. I just, you're genuine too. I know we don't know each other fully well, but I know even after this combo, we're going to know each other a whole lot better. And it just leads to so many opportunities. So
Sick.
I'm keen to see what you're going to fire away at me.
Hectic. So everyone who has been tuning in, you do know I start with 10 rapid fire questions. So rapid fire being off the cusp, okay? Don't think about it too much. Don't mediate it too much, just on the flow. If you want to elaborate, I'm not going to hold you ransom if you do that, but try and just single answer, okay? Yep. Just try and keep them short. So number 1, if you had a choice to have clean skin or the same tattoos that you have right now, what would you choose?
Damn, man. I want a bit of both, but I'm going to say I love my tattoos, man. It is who I am. I think it's made me who I am. And although I get judged a lot based off, the tattoos, I wouldn't change it for a thing. Everything happens for a reason. Same with my past. I wouldn't change it for a thing. So I'll go the full inked.
Yeah, I like that. Number 2, go back and fix some past mistakes or keep moving forwards exactly as you are today.
Keep moving forward, because everything that I've fucked up in life has made me who I am today and helped me help the individuals that I'm helping today. So everything happens for a reason, and all the lessons you live in life, I believe they happen for a certain reason. So everything I did, even though a lot of it was bad and controversial, I'm glad that I did that because I'm not living that life now.
Yeah, man, I respect that highly. I love that you keep saying for a reason too. I literally have it tattooed on my wrist. So
man.
I align with that very, very much. Number 3, I mean, you answered that pretty much then, but do you have any regrets in your life at all?
Man, it's a tough one, but I think the main regret is obviously, we'll dive obviously more deeper into my story, but I think the main regret was just how I treated people when I was addicted to drugs, mainly steroids, but just how I treated my family. Obviously I'm grateful I have a great connection with them now as I rebuilt that, but man, I treated my family very bad. Not because I wanted to, I just didn't know who the person I was. So I don't wish that upon anyone. Your family is number one, and if I could go back in time, I wish I could have just not treated them with disrespect. So yeah.
Okay, man, I definitely appreciate the vulnerability with that. Number 4, are you proud of who you are today?
Oh, absolutely, man. There's levels to how, big you want to grow your podcast and everything. But man, to see how far I've come in probably 2 to 3 years, you got to give yourself a pat on the back. And yeah, we still have expectations and, you compare yourself to others. But man, I'm very, very proud that I've changed my life around, and we're both still so young, and man, who knows what the future holds.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Dude, I love this. This is great. Number 5, does being judged for the way you look ever affect your mental health?
Yeah, it does, man. I've learned to not care as much what people think of me, because I know who I am deep down inside. And I know that most people's opinion is the wrong opinion based off their perception. But it still does hurt you sometimes when, you're walking down the street and someone thinks you're going to rob them or pull a gun on them or whatever just because of your image. But then if someone actually comes up and has a deep conversation with you, it's a whole different story, man. I'm not that human. So it touches you from a little bit of perspective, but then you look at it you can't let it affect your day too much, because then you're just letting someone else's opinion ruin your day.
Yeah, just to elaborate on that quickly, I see it as those special enough and willing enough to give you a chance are the ones that will reap the benefit. We've talked for 15 minutes before this, and the minute you jumped off your bike and pulled into the studio, so humble, so welcoming, and very just soft-spoken, which from initial glance you wouldn't direct that or think that straight away. But now that I've got the privilege to chat to you and hear a little bit about you and have a conversation with you, yeah, that's the real you coming through.
Yeah, I just say it. I say it so many times. We hear it all the time, but you can't judge a book by its cover. You literally cannot. Like, not just myself, someone obese or someone anorexic or someone, you don't know what they're going through, and you don't judge someone just off their image. You know what I mean? It's just, you just don't do it.
Yeah, no, I very, very much agree
I'm going to
with
project that back. Do you get judged a lot?
that. Yeah, to be honest, like the judgment I get is more from the stance of arrogance. So, like if I've worked hard on my body, I'll walk with my chin up and my chest high. I'm proud of what I've created, what I've worked
But that's
for.
self-accomplishment. You know what I mean? It's not arrogant, and that's what people need to realize.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, you're proud of what you're doing and who you're becoming, but people look at that in an egotistic way, and that's not egotistic at all. They're two different things. So
Yeah, interestingly enough, 99% of the time, and I'm sure you can agree to this, it's a projection from that individual.
yeah,
Right, so number 6, if you could get rid of one human emotion, what would it be?
if this is the correct answer, hate.
It's a great
Could you
answer.
say that? Yeah, because I just, at the end of the day, man, like, you can not like someone, but hate's a different thing, and I don't think anyone should hate another individual. If you don't agree with someone or you dislike what they're doing, you just move on. But to project back hate or bully even, like, I think it's just a whole different level, and you just keep that to yourself.
I like that, man. Number 7, do you feel like you've made it?
Hell no, bro. No way, bro. I'm 1% of where I want to be. Like, and I know that sounds bad in, like, I just said before, I'm very happy who I've become, but man, like yourself, like, I've got goals, bro, and I literally want to impact the world. Like, I'm talking like impact the world, like Joe Rogan, Andrew Tate style. Like, that's what I want to do, man. So there's no way. I will never stop until the day I die. There's always levels that you can improve, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the fire in the belly, man. It's something definitely respectable. Number 8, what's one thing you wish people knew when they look at you?
That I'm a genuine guy and I actually care for others.
Yeah. Number 9, are you happy?
I am, man, but I do suffer a lot of mental health still, a lot of dark down days. But at this present time, I am happy. I am happy overall with the life, but man, I still suffer a lot, and that's why I speak a lot about mental health. I think nobody's happy constantly, and I don't care what anyone says. Everyone wakes up with shit days, bro. Everyone at some point in time doesn't enjoy their life, whether they're living the life or not. And yeah, I think it's a big topic, man, is just, mental health, depression, even suicide, man. I think no one is happy 24/7 on a day-to-day basis, and I'm definitely not happy 24/7. But I think it's good in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because those days where you're not happy or you're suffering or whatever it may be, that is, if you can get through those days, the days where you're feeling better, those days are incredible. So I think you need it. You know what I mean? It's like a balance.
Yeah, man, that's a well-articulated understanding of that for sure. Number 10, do you feel misunderstood?
In the way that people judge me?
Just in what your mission is and who you truly are compared to how you're overall perceived as a human. Do you feel like people misunderstand you, your vision, and your want, and it's just washed out with the tattoos and the judgments and the projections?
I think it was a lot more, and it's starting to take the switch. The more I start to do this stuff, the more I'm posting content. Yeah, it's still a little bit mistaken, but I think like 90% of feedback, literally to this day, I think people start to know who I am and realize. And I'm pretty grateful, man. Like, I was on the phone to my mum the other day, and I was walking, literally every day I've been walking down Seminyak. No joke, this is no joke. One person on my morning walk, has stopped me, someone I don't know, from around the world. Literally yesterday, one was a mum with her kid, and she goes, we were literally watching your videos through TikTok. I don't even use TikTok, bro. Like, I just post it she's like, we were watching your TikTok videos, and like, wow, it's just incredible. Like, it was actually inspiring. I was like, wow, you don't realize how many people it's actually reaching. You know, I was like, how did you even see it? They were like, just flicking through the explore page, blah, 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 and your reels popped up, and I was like, whoa, it actually makes an impact. And
Yeah.
that's why you don't realize yourself, like, you don't realize how many people you can reach through this, man. Yeah, we're just sitting here, me and you, but bro, everyone is on social media. Everyone uses their phone. There's billions of people in the world. Like, you can touch lives, bro. That's what you need to realize.
Yeah, man, you're definitely like your short form content of clips, reels, TikToks. I see it all the time. And like, I feel like, at least from my perspective as a consumer of your content, you're everywhere. And there's just so many compiled clips of either ones you've posted or that have been posted about you that have so much use and merit behind them. Like, to have someone watch a 15-second clip and for that to impact their life is fucking magical and amazing. I mean, you have hundreds and hundreds of them posted everywhere. So like, big credit to you, to your team, to the years, the days, the hours that you've put into social media, because it's very impressive. And dude, this is our first time meeting, and you have been supporting me, commenting on my photos, my videos for fucking years.
I know. Bro, I think it just needs to be done, bro. Like, and I actually think that is what has made me who I am today. And I don't do it for clout, bro. Like, I literally like supporting people. And if someone has good content, bro, I don't care if I don't know you, bro. I'm going to show some love. And how much better do you feel when someone does that? You know what I mean?
100%.
But imagine if everyone did that. Fuck, you just feel amazing 24/7.
Yeah.
And that's what the world needs. But majority of people are hating on comments or, leaving rude comments or messages or whatever. And it's like, if we switch the switch around and showed some love, man, how good would this world be? Like, fuck. Like, no negativity, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. Do you ever struggle with the idea that you are such a support network for so many up and coming influencers and established influencers that the support doesn't come back? Do you ever feel like you're a human that's just pouring your heart out to help so many people and it's not reciprocated? Like, what's that like for you?
bro, absolutely. Like, I've been burnt out many times. Like, even today, I was just like, talking to my mate before in the gym. I was like, I just give so much energy, man. And like, yeah, I get a lot back, but for how much I give,
Yeah.
it's like, it's draining, bro. But at the end of the day, man, like, I would still rather support someone, even if a lot of people don't give it back. I still think that's what the world needs. And I'll always keep supporting people and showing love. And yeah, I don't know. That's just me, man. So
Where does that come from, though? Does that come from being a person who hasn't felt support growing up, so you want to give to other people what you didn't have yourself? Does it come from compensating maybe the way you were with your family and now you're trying to resurrect the way you treated them and, spread so much more good to undo that work? Like, essentially, what's the point? Like, why do you support and want to help so many people?
first of all, just because the world needs it, man. But it's basically from my days of, steroids, drugs, depression, suicide. I had no one around me, bro. This is what's made me so strong, bro. I fucking did everything myself, man. Like, I went rock bottom, bro. Tried to commit suicide, bro. Didn't die. Did all this, blah, like, should have went to jail. Like, everything was just against the grain, and I made it out. And it's like, yeah, I had my mum and dad there, 100%. They were there the whole time. No one else really. And it's like, if I had have had like someone like myself projected it back on me, maybe through those hard times, maybe it would have helped me a lot earlier, or maybe it would have helped me get out of that struggle. So I feel like if I can do that to someone that's struggling, or even someone that's not struggling, I just know how good it feels. I know when someone shows a bit of love to me, man, I feel really good. So that it's just the feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think it needs to be done.
How did you pull, we'll touch on it in a little bit, but how did you pull yourself out of the darkest time in your life? Like, you just then said that you did it on your own, or majority, you navigated your own pathway out of that. You're welcome to elaborate and explain, a little bit about your history and your background if you'd like to first, but how were you able to just one day flick a conscious switch and go, what the fuck am I doing? This needs to change.
Oh man, it's just so many things. But I think it was just you know, it's deep, man. Like, it's deep. Like, I could talk hours for this, but it was the whole thing of the last court case. I should have went to jail. My parents were sitting there bawling their eyes out. You know, I got done 3 times consecutively with steroids. I was jobless. I had no ambition. I had no goals. I'd wake up with no vision. I'd do nothing with my life. My health was absolutely ruined. I had no friends. I treated people like shit. And I just had enough, man. I was done, man. I was like 22, like so much ahead of me, man. Like, I have the best family, bro. Like, everything, like, I was raised perfect, bro. It was nothing to do with my family. And I just got caught in a dark crowd and the wrong crowd, and got addicted to drugs like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of toll on my life, man. And I just one day I was just like, it was mainly to do with the last court case. I felt like I got another chance. Like, I really feel like God gave me another chance. And that's why I'm so heavily religious now. I never was into that. And I just feel like that third chance, like, why go back down that road again and, you know, be sitting in a prison cell for the next 10 years or doing nothing with my life? And when I walked out of that court case, I felt so free. And my parents were just like, you can't do this again. Like, you have to move on. And I was like, yeah, it was very hard, bro. Like, it was not just like one day I was a completely different human. Although I switched my mindset to be a different human the next day after that court case, it was a long battle. Do you know what I mean? Like, I relapsed probably 7 times, bro, back on steroids. Wow. That nobody knows about. But, like, just little phases, like, oh man, like, I feel small, like, or whatever, I feel weak, or, you know, like, I can't get an erection. Like, yeah. Bro, I can go deep if you want. So I'll jump back on a bit of testosterone.
Yeah.
And then, do I really need this? I did that for multiple times, bro. And then the more I kind of, like, dove into that space of helping people and getting off drugs and becoming even clear in the head, like, my head was so foggy, bro, when I was on drugs. Like, I was just, you know, I don't know if you've ever been addicted to drugs.
Not
you
addicted,
know, when you even just, you get on it one night.
Yeah.
You don't really know what you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, everything's just scattered. The next day you can't do work.
Yeah.
That's what I was like every single minute of the day. And I just think I actually started to feel so much better, like, even my health. And I was like, the more you kind of dive into that space, it's like fitness or breath work or whatever it may be. Once you start to get into it, or you start to eat healthy after eating junk food, it's like you actually get addicted to it. Yeah. And now I'm, like, addicted to the endorphins and helping people and feeling good, that I've gone too far to go back. And that's all it is.
Dude, I love the idea that you just said, that you made a mental change the next day, but then you relapse, because I am such a big advocate, and I heavily push this, that real change needs real change. And you can fake change where you act, or you tell people that you're going to, or you do a couple of different things. But the deep rooted things within you are the way they are for certain reasons. And it's going to take a lot of work to evolve them into being the person you want to become. So yeah, that idea that, yeah, I'm going to change, but then you go back. It's like, well, yeah, real change needs real fucking change, and you can't fake it.
That's what people don't realize that. Like, it does. If you truly want to change, I don't care what anyone is doing out there. Like, if you're fucking listening to this and you're addicted to drugs, or you're suffering whatever it is, or you're in a bad rabbit hole, or you're hanging around the wrong crowd, I don't care if you have the best family, the best counselor, you go to the best rehab, whatever it may be, you can only change. And I've seen it, man. Like, I've seen some of my mates, bro, in and out of rehab, in and out of jail. It's just not until you physically wake the fuck up and change your life that it's going to happen. And it's true. Like, go grab your fucking balls, wake up and change your life, because you're the only one that's going to do it. And you're not happy with your life right now if you listen to this and you're in that little stigma. And I just don't get why people don't turn their life around. Like, if you're not happy, change it. I know it's hard. It was very hard for me, but I look back at it and I'm like, man, I wish I changed it earlier. Do you know what I mean? Like, just change your life. Make a step forward.
Yeah, big time. Do you ever struggle now seeing people either close to you or that you respect or have love for doing the wrong things? And knowing where that can lead to and the outcomes that can produce, do you struggle not to heavily just project on them to stop and try and rip them out?
Oh, I do, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Every single person. Like, I was just, every single day, bro, I'm trying to help someone. Like, I've still got mates that are, you know, they're doing everything that I used to do. They're on the juice. They want to get to 130 kilos. And I'm like, I can see ahead of it. I'm like, this is a very short-term phase. Yeah, we all want to do these little things for a short-term phase, but realistically, are you going to be doing that when you're 60 with a family? Like, and this is what you got to look at. And I just would rather help them now than when they get too deep into that trap where they can't get out of it because they're so addicted to that drug or that high or whatever it may be. And I try to help someone every single day, man. Like, every single day.
Yeah, people are addicted to instant gratification.
Yeah.
So something right then and there.
Even just the dopamine.
Yeah.
Like, I used to love the dopamine off social media. I used to love the dopamine of putting a shirtless photo up. I swear on my life, I put a shirtless photo up and it would fucking go viral because I did look good. Like, I was lean, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I would get this dopamine effect off someone liking and commenting on my photo, which is so pathetic. Like, at the end of the day, you know, you still like it when someone likes and comments, but that shouldn't be the dopamine effect of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used to chase that. It's like addicting. Yeah. It's like, oh, 2,000 people like your post. Why don't we get it to 3,000? Let's bang a bit more gear, get a bit bigger. But you don't treat people right. It's all just about, oh, how many people can like me, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah, it's all that superficial surface level.
That's it. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
superficial.
Yeah.
It's not real, man.
Yeah.
Instagram's not real, bro. Like, although it's real in a way, but it's like, it's a highlight reel.
Of course.
Bro, do you know how many people I've met that they don't look like who they are? Or you look at someone that looks like they're doing really successful, but deep down, man, I know these people. Some of them can't even pay their rent. Like, it really is a highlight reel, man. And if you actually hang around proper, successful entrepreneurs or businessmen or whatever it may be, guarantee you 95% of them, they don't flash their shit. And that's what people need to realize.
I've got a quote of yours, and I just want to read it, and then you tell me your reflections on it. It was all during my drug days. I don't really know what I was doing, to be honest. I was just lost and wanted to fit into a crowd. That was my way to fit into the crowd. What was the need to fit into the crowd from the get-go anyway? And why are you okay with not doing it and not fitting in with the crowd these days?
Oh, man, that's a good question.
I appreciate it.
So is that a two-phase question?
Yeah, two-parter. So, like, why was there a need to want to fit in with the crowd that forced you to get into drugs to mold in with that crowd? And why are you okay not fitting in with the crowd these days and being your own self and letting people come and go?
I suppose there wasn't an actual need to fit into the crowd back then, but I thought there was. I thought that was the cool. I thought that was what you had to do. Maybe I wasn't happy with myself at that point in time. So as I said, I wanted gratification from other people and that dopamine effect to make me feel better. But what I've started to realize in life is you don't need to be big or super lean, or it's got nothing to do with looks. It's how you treat people. And that's what I've started to realize is that, yeah, obviously I still want to look good. Like, obviously I still care about my body image and from a self-care perspective, you know what I mean?
Of course.
But it's not about like the arrogance. It's not about like, oh, who's looking at this, or, you know, what does he think of me? It's just about like, just being you and surrounding yourself with good people. And that's kind of like my fitting in now. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I love that.
And it's crazy, man, because when I actually remove myself from that crowd and stop trying to chase that satisfaction and gratification and dopamine effect from all these people around the world that I don't even know, I actually started to align with the right people, like yourself. Like, every single day, man, I meet someone good now. But when I used to chase that clout, I used to meet the wrong people. It's so weird, man. Like, biggest tip I can give to anyone out there that was doing what I was doing, you know, chasing that, not happy with themselves, is who gives a fuck what people think? Actually do what you want to do and what makes you happy, even if it's goofy and someone thinks, you know what I mean? I used to, bro, sit on a story and I would, like, back in my days, I would sit on it for like 4 hours. Or should I filter this? What's someone going to think if I put this up?
Yeah.
Bro, I just throw something up straight away now, because at the end of the day, someone's always going to judge. Not everyone's going to like it. But you know what? If I say it truly from my heart or whatever it is, the right people will align with me for the right reasons. But if I've said it from a fake perspective, I'm just attracting the wrong crowd anyway. So it's like, if you just be your authentic self, the right people will align with you. That's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, I love the quote, build the flower bed and you'll attract the butterflies.
Yeah.
Don't spend your time chasing the butterflies, because when you chase them, they run away. But if you spend the time working on yourself, your mindset, your lifestyle, and really becoming who you want to become, you will attract those people. So
That's so true.
the fact that that's what you realized, and realized it young, man. Like, we're both young. It's
Yeah.
real. It's unreal, because some people go through their whole life never understanding that or realizing that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I'm just glad I moved on and I found that, you know what I mean? But yeah, just loving yourself. I think that in a perspective itself, there's so many people around the world, not only today, but in their whole life, will never actually truly be content and love themselves. And it took me a long time, but to truly love yourself is the most beautiful gift and best thing ever. When you're actually happy and you love the person you are, you can look in the mirror and be like, oh my God, like, I'm happy. You're beautiful. Like, I'm happy with who I am. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best thing you can ever do, because you stop caring about everyone else's opinion, because deep down, it doesn't matter. You love yourself.
Why be so vulnerable online? Why are you such an open book?
I think there's fuck all of it, man. And I think people need to be real. There's so much fakeness, so much bullshit out there. And I just think the world needs a bit more realism and light, whether that's talking about something that's deep or maybe touchy or whatever. I think the world just needs to hear more of, life lessons, fuck ups, moving on, all this type of stuff, because everything's just fake these days. So people don't know what to believe. Do you know what I mean? I just want to be real.
Yeah, okay. What's your opinion on cancel culture then? Because
On what?
on cancel culture. So I'm an up and coming influencer. I'm trying to create a message. I'm trying to build my branding. And I've noticed just in big celebrities over the last year, they'll do one thing wrong and be held overly accountable to it, and their whole career is just forgotten about. They're forgotten about and boycott. Like, you might have an opinion or a perspective, or you might not, but what are your thoughts on how easy it is to be cancelled or hated on these days?
I don't think it's right, but I just think that's society. You know what I mean? Like, do you mean, like, for example, Andrew Tate puts out one video and just gets fucking, like, obviously a lot of people like him, but fuck, man, there's so many people that hate him. Do you know what I mean? I think that's actually jealousy and people don't like their own lives. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, bro, like, obviously he's doing well, but whether you agree with his opinion or the way he talks or not, why hate on him? Like, it's not like he's a nobody and he's not doing anything with his life. Do you know what I mean? Same with like a Joe Rogan or a Mike Tyson. Do you know how many people hate Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
What for, bro? Do you know what he went through in his days? Do you know what he's doing now? Like, yeah, he did some drugs and, he does mushrooms and stuff these days. But, bro, everyone does stuff. Everyone fucks up. Like, don't think that you're perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then people just hate because I think it's truly they are not happy with the life they're living, and maybe they want to be the person that these people are. So they hate on them when they bring out something that's minor or off-guarded that they say is a little bit different, and then they project it back on them because that's the only thing that they can hate on these people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
They pick something small.
Yeah, it goes back to that quote, right, that you'll never see someone that's more successful than you pulling you down.
Yeah.
And it's that thing, because if they're above you, they can only pull you up, versus the people that are below you or struggling or not happy with who they are, they can only pull you down. They can only grab you by your ankles, like tall poppy, and cut the poppy so everyone's the exact same. I've got a...
Do you know how true that is, though? Like, I've never in my life, I've had a lot of hate. I've never had someone above me hate me. Ever.
So
it's
interesting.
always been a nobody, someone with no profile picture, couple of followers. It just goes to show, man. Like, it really does go to show the true colors. You know what I mean? So you can't let it affect you.
Have you ever had any run-ins with anyone that is of a stature or stance but lower than you? So obviously you got a really great following on Instagram. Have you ever had, a 50K or 100K person trying to call you out for clout or trying to, make a name for themselves by hating on you? Have you experienced that at all?
Never. It's always like it's maximum someone with. It's just a nobody. It's literally nobody, and that's why you got to. If you're listening right now, if you receive hate or whatever it may be, just don't take it to heart. Move on. Laugh, smile, know who you are, do good things, and good things will come back.
I made a really strong statement early last year when I first launched this podcast, and I want to read it to you and get your perspective on it. You are responsible for what happens to you in life. You may not be responsible for what has happened to you in the past, but you are 100% in control of what happens to you moving forwards.
I think it's amazing. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, what's your perspective if I was to say to you, and I'm sure you agree on it, you are 100% responsible for what happens to you in your life. Like, do you agree with that? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Like, a lot of people go, oh, it's my genetics or it's my family or it's how I was raised or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's the same as getting yourself out of a dark, deep situation or a bad time or whatever. Only you can do it. Like, at the end of the day, if you want to wake up tomorrow and change someone's life or make an impact on the world, I could tell you to do this and that, or I could fucking guide you here or that, but only you're going to do it. You know what I mean? It's true, man. Like, everything is upon you. Who you want to be or what you want to do in life is truly dependent on yourself.
How do you pick and choose what's worth doing when it comes to helping people? So obviously you're on demand. I've seen you in every second Instagram story. You're on a podcast now, then you got to go and jet to do something after. Do you see the impact you have on the world different where a podcast is more helpful, or is just helping one person with one small thing something still fulfilling for you? So just like to articulate that a bit better, how do you pick and choose what you do to have the biggest impact you can on the world?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, man. I'm still a little bit scattered of like, oh, I'm doing a bit too much. Should I just focus on one thing? Look, at the end of the day, I just try to do as much as I can in one day. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Like, I've done a few coaching calls this morning, so I've helped someone with that. I know this podcast, these reels will go out within the next month or so.
Yeah.
I know that's at least going to reach one person. I just talked at the gym with some person that's dealing with some steroid issues and that. So that's another person. Like, it comes in waves, but I think if you can make the most impact, it is through this and the short form reels, because that's going out to the world. Whereas when I'm talking one-on-one to an individual or a phone call, yeah, I'm still helping someone, but this type of shit, man, it's going to the world. You know what I mean? And that's why I love the podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Like, it's nothing else reaches anything more in the world. And I've said this to so many people. If you truly want to grow, get on your story or get on a podcast and just literally speak from the heart. Like, I don't know what else you can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what are you most focused on at the moment? Like, within your world, whether it's business or socials, like, what's consuming most of your time? What are you most passionate about and enjoying building at the moment?
Yeah, that's a tough question, man. I love everything I do, and that's why I'm in a bit of a rut. Like, even my parents said, you got to focus on one thing, because if you focus on one thing, you're going to be better at that.
For sure.
But man, I love helping people with their training, their diet. I love helping people with their mental health. I love the podcast. I love the modeling. I love fashion. I love it's just, I can't just drop one thing off because I enjoy it all. Yeah. But what I realize is that I'm not going to be doing all those things for the rest of my life. So that's why I've got like multiple businesses and multiple incomes, where I know the modeling is going to be short term. I don't know if I'll do the podcast forever. I might. I don't know if I'll do the coaching forever, but I've kind of just got everything in the works, and then I might just stick with one down the future, just to see which one grows the most.
Yeah, fair.
So I love it, man. Like, I love doing a bit of everything. Sweet. I think if you just do one thing every single day too, you get a little bit bored. So yeah. What about yourself? Like, I see you do a lot too. Like, what are you trying to grow the podcast now? Are you trying to do like the content or modeling or coaching or?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. I'm in that conflicting stage where I really am trying to grow my social media. Social media for me, I've just never had my breakthrough. It's always just been a bit of a grind, but the brand I've built is so strong because my social media is so small, but my client inquiries, the income, the amount of people I was working, the strength of the brand, the retention is really great. So like numbers don't always matter.
100%.
Yeah.
I've seen people with huge numbers on the opposite end and fuck all traction, fuck all clients, all this type of stuff. And I've seen people that have like 1,000, 2,000 followers and they're impacting lives, bro. So you can't just let the numbers affect it. And you got to think about it in this perspective. If you do have that clientele or you're reaching that many people, I'm not saying you don't have any followers, but obviously your following small. Imagine if your following was at mine.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, you could be way above me. Like it's like there's levels, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's why I think you got to stay consistent.
Yeah.
Because your numbers will definitely grow over time. If you stay consistent, that is my best piece of advice. It will definitely grow, but people just don't put in the work in the long run. They can't. If I said to someone, just stick with this podcast for 3 years and it'll grow. Someone goes, 3 years? Like I got to pump out 300 episodes? Like, nah, fuck. Like, but that's where I'm different. Like I'm in it for the long run. I'll just stay consistent. Like I've been pumping out so much content, man. It didn't just happen off one reel.
Yeah.
That's what people need to realize. It's the same as your gym. You're not just going to look fucking like Chris Bumstead tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like you need to just be consistent. And that's what people need to realize. A lot of people don't want to put in the work. They just don't.
Yeah, I love that idea of, I call it when I talk to my clientele, blind trust. So it's the
Yeah.
guarantee that if you are consistent, there is a potential that you will be successful. But if you aren't consistent, you 100% guarantee you won't be successful. So it's having that blind trust and being able to be consistent enough. And if you are consistent enough, you will get there. So for instance, like you've gotten there with the gram, I haven't given up and I won't give up. It's a
Yeah.
bitch at the moment, but I know I will get there because I know I won't stop doing it until I get there.
But do you know how many times I've said and I've woken up and I'm like, fuck this. I'm going back to a normal job. I swear to God, bro.
Wow.
But if I'd have thrown in the towel, I swear to God, man, I've woken up so many days and I'm like, I just cannot be fucked to answer 1,000 messages and do this post. And like, why do I even care what people think? And then I'm like, nah, fuck that. I've come so far. I've impacted so many lives. I'll read one message of someone that's, respected my stuff. And I'm like, fuck this. Like, I'm going hard.
What's your weekly routine at the moment? This is more a selfish question of just curiosity. How many times are you training? What cardio are you doing? How many hours are you working? Like, yeah, what's your split?
That's actually a good question. Man, I literally train every day. And I know that's against the grain. I've been big where I know you need rest days, all this stuff. I love it for my mental health. I feel like if I don't do some form of exercise in a day, not only will I go loopy in the head, like literally, I just feel like my day won't be complete. Like even when I jumped off the plane, bro, like I had a full, when you like fly all day and your legs are like all lethargic and you just, even when I got off the plane, I'm like, I always make it a goal every single day since I've got off drugs. I've gone for a 1 hour walk every single day. And I know that's the minimum. And I know for some people that might be like, an hour walk, like, wow, like, bro, it's that fucking easy. If you can't find an hour in your day, and you can split that up, you can do 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at lunch, 20 minutes at night. If you can't walk or do some form of exercise for half an hour to an hour every single day, you truly do not respect your body. I actually mean that. Unless you physically cannot move or something. But if you're someone healthy, I think that's a form of self-disrespect. And I truly believe it. It's like people that shove packet foods into their face every single day and they won't touch one whole food. Man, this is your body. It's your temple. You only have one. Treat it with some self-respect. Put some nutrients in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love training, man. And I literally train every single day. Cardio-wise, I'm the same. I actually feel better off of it.
Yeah.
And cardio, I switch it up, bro. One day I'll go for a run. One day I will walk on the treadmill. The next day I'll walk on the beach. You know what I mean? The next day I'll do boxing.
Yeah.
I find you need to keep your exercise fun. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They get bored of their diet. They get bored of their exercise because they just eat chicken and broccoli. They just smash the Stairmaster for 2 hours. Yeah, clearly that's going to get boring.
Fair.
You know what I mean? But when you start to actually tweak it up, still do it correctly, but with a bit of enjoyment, and you got to find that yourself. Everyone has their own little methods. I have lots of little different methods of how I make my workout better or my cardio or whatever. Just try and enjoy it because it's all about longevity. And if you can do this forever, as I said, consistency, just the daily habits, that's what's going to add up to the big lump sum. So every single day, some form of exercise. Every single day I work, whether it's a Sunday or Saturday, I don't care if I'm in Bali or Thailand or Australia or whatever. I will always work. I do it sparingly. I do my stuff a lot different. Like I don't actually set, like I know this was a set time, but I don't actually set like block periods of, I just do stuff. Like I might jump after dinner and do a little bit on my phone and then might put it down for 10 minutes, but then I might jump back on it. Yeah. I just do stuff like, I find when you go, I need to sit in front of the computer for 4 hours now and do this, it just fucks up the whole enjoyment of it. But I just try to find little ways to actually enjoy my work, my exercise, and just enjoy life. You know what I mean? Enjoy life, but still while you're getting stuff done. And that's my biggest piece of advice. So
I love the fact that you just said biggest piece of advice, because I'm going to hit you with that again. I respect your time. I know you have a dinner. Into that camera for me, to my viewers, my audience, and wherever this clip goes, what is one piece of advice or a thought that you want people to have more often or that you want to tell people?
Man, so many things. Just be yourself. Do not compare yourself to others. Do not let other people's opinions affect you, even though it somewhat might. Do try not let it affect you. Enjoy the now, because you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow brings or the future. So enjoy the now. I wish I had have enjoyed a lot of the time back in the days, and just do what makes you happy. There's too many people going to university because my mum wants me to go to university, or I got to do this degree, or I have to go. Like, just fucking do what you want to do in life. Like, truly, like time's short. We don't know how long we're here for. And if you truly don't enjoy each and every single day, what's the point of being on earth? Like, I'd rather not exist than, you know what I mean? If you truly dread each and every single day, what is the point of living? So find whatever that is. Find your passion. Find your ambition. Have a vision and a goal. You need that. Like when you wake up in the morning, if you have nothing to do or no vision or goal or ambition or what am I doing, your day just becomes stumbled. Do you know what I mean? You have to find something that you're passionate about. I'm passionate about helping others. That's my passion. So every single day I wake, I try help someone. And I might put a lot of hours into that. I might put a couple of minutes into that, but I know that I've got like my goal for the day. You need to set little goals for the day so you can attack them. Otherwise your day becomes scrambled. There's so many people out there that they do nothing with their days. They do nothing with their life. And I just think, you've got one life. We're all alive, majority of us are happy. We're healthy. And why not have a crack at it? Why not see what the fuck you can do in life? Like, I'm no different to you. You're no different to me. Like, you can be whatever you want to be. Go have a crack, see what you can do. And I guarantee you actually might get a lot more ahead than you think. It's true.
I appreciate your time. Jaxon Tippet, everybody, episode 5. I appreciate you tuning in. And man, that was a pleasure. I appreciate you coming on.
Dude. That's a killer.
Fucking hell.